Welcome. We're going to go ahead and create the first step of your mini maze. We're going to build the base, and it's actually very simple. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to come in here to create new design. We're going to click on it. One of the first things I do when I create new design is I go ahead and, so we don't get confused, let's come up here. See, mine's called Funky Espo. Let's actually put here, how about your name? So I'm going to go John. I'm not even going to have a space here, capital H-A-R-I-N-G-T. I'm going to go underscore mini maze. Mini maze. Perfect. I'm set. Then I'm looking over here. There's two things I want to set. See down here where it says edit grid and millimeters. First thing I want to do is I'm going to go edit grid and I'm going to go millimeters. I'm going to do drop down. I'm going to say no, I don't want millimeters. I want inches. Okay? It's easier because we all understand inches. So I'm going to say update grid. So now it's in inches. And then over here, you see where it says snap grid 1/8 of an inch. I recommend every single time you open Tinkercad, it's going to say 1/8 of an inch because that's the default. I want you to reset it to 1/64. Reset to 1/64. And it's not going to make sense right now as I'm talking, but in a few minutes it will make sense because 1/8 is big, clunky movements. So as you're trying to line up, let's say a square with a grid line, it's going to jump 1/8 of an inch each time you try and center it or line it up, versus 1/64 is going to give you nice, refined little movements, really small, so it's really easy to line things up, and so it'll give you much easier, faster finished product. You'll be less frustrated. So 1/64. So now we've changed that. Next thing, see how this is at an angle, this work plane? I never want to be building, and remember this as you're with an angled work plane. When you're working, you always want to be squared off, directly looking at the plane you're working on. And then whenever you change the angle, you want to reset that work plane so you're directly looking at the work plane, okay? I've just gotten used to doing it this way, and it will save you headaches in the future. So look, work directly onto the work plane. I'd like to call it just always you're at 90 degrees with the work plane. So this is simple. I'm going to take the box. I'm going to bring a box out on, click, hold, drag. I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to maybe line it up right now, release. I'm going to click on an edge of it. Now I want you to look on the website. You guys were all shown the grade sheet. So go to the worksheet, okay, for this. It has all the measurements. It should be termed grade sheet. And on that grade sheet or worksheet, you're going to see the measurements for our mini maze. And for the base, if you're looking at it, it's the mini maze is 3 inches by 3 inches. So the width, I'm going to click on here. So I'm going to go width 3. There we go, 3 inches. And then I'm going to go length. Come on, let me get this out of the way. See this up at? I can't see my length. So now I'm going to click on this again. I'm going to click here, and now I'm going to go length 3. And now I click off, and there we go. I can go click, hold, drag. I'm going to line it up in a corner, and now I have 3 inches by 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches by 3 inches. Now I need to do the height. So I'm going to come over here to my cube. I'm going to go down 1. I'm going to go front like that. See how it's 90 degrees? It's squared off. But if I'm ever making changes, I have to go over and get the work plane, and I'm going to click on this flat side. So the work plane now is behind this edge. Now I can make the changes once I put the work plane correctly put in a work plane. And now all I need to do is, if you look at the measurements on that grade sheet, what does it say for the thickness? Look at the images I made for you. It even says base. What's the thickness of that base? Quick, say it please. Oh, you're right. Well done. So I'm going to click on the box. I'm going to put in 1/4 of an inch. And 1/4 of an inch equals, in decimal, 0.25. Okay, and there's the 1/4 of an inch. I click off, and there's the thickness of my base, the width of the base. Now I'm going to keep working on this, so I don't want to be staring at the thickness anymore. I'm going to go back. See, I'm clicking on the cube. I want to go back to the top so I can go ahead and now bring the walls onto my mini maze. And you know I'm going to set it up because now I'm 90 degrees. I'm looking at it, but I need to get the work plane behind it. So I come over here, I click on the work plane, I click on the mini maze or the base, and I'm ready. Now the next step is we're going to start doing the walls. So please look at that grade sheet, and you should be able to tell me on the next video what's the height and the width of those walls. See you in a second.